as soon as she's done with whatever it is she's up to. No problem. The wait list is, or the waiting room is off. The playlist is the EPH 8-Week Restore playlist. I shared it this morning in the WhatsApp group. It's a long playlist, it's like 2 hours long, so you can start from whatever song you feel like starting from. I really love the first song, and I literally listen to this playlist from start to finish, like on the daily, because it just helps me get into a mood. So feel free to press play wherever you want, but let's all do so in 3, 2, 1. And today we're going to spend about 25 minutes just moving the body and stretching it out, helping our muscles to recover and restore, rejuvenate from the week, setting the weekend off in the right direction, right? So we're going to start by standing. I know in the screen that you guys are seeing me in, let me put on this other light, that my head is a little bit cut off, but that's because most of the time we're going to be on the mat itself, so please bear with me for just a minute. I want you to be able to see my full mat. Let's find our nice, strong, standing posture. In yoga, it's called tree pose. Our feet are about hip distance apart, or if you want to get more specific, maybe sits bones apart, so right underneath both of your sits bones and your bum. Just inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Filling up the lungs three-dimensionally. Exhaling, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Feel free to gently close the eyes. Bring your awareness to how you are distributing your weight across the feet, whether or not you're locking out your knees. If you are, add a little softness to them. Making sure your exhales are a bit longer than your inhales. Your hips and your pelvis are over your heels. Your rib cage is over your hips. Your arms are dangling by your sides. And you're holding this nice, beautiful, tall posture. Your shoulders are back down along the back body, nice open collarbone, but your rib cage isn't pushing forward. It's in line with the rest of the body. 2 more here. Letting any thoughts that you have from the day enter the mind as if they were a sailboat crossing your vision. Acknowledge those thoughts and then go ahead and let them pass. Leaving the mind, leaving your vision. Gently open your eyes, or feel free to keep them closed if you feel comfortable in this position. Inhale your chin down towards your chest, over to one side, nice and slowly. Exhaling back and around. Taking it a little bit slower than we normally do in our warm-up. Really drawing your awareness to what's going on in the muscles in the neck. Sending your breath to any part that might feel tight or a little bit knotty. Even pausing if you need to somewhere and just breathing into it. Good, one more rotation in this direction. Belly is soft. Weight is distributed across the feet. The only thing mobilizing is the neck. Go ahead and reverse direction when you're done with that rotation. And notice if you feel any different sensations as you bring the neck around in a circle in this direction. Two more rotations here. Again, making sure your knees haven't automatically locked out. Sometimes that happens. You feel weight across the inside and the outside of the foot. Your hips are still over your heels. Your collarbone is still open. And then go ahead, finish that rotation, and lift your neck up through center. Ooh, that feels really nice. Let's go ahead, inhale those shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, open up that chest as those shoulders roll down the back body. So kind of circling around the shoulder joint here. Inhaling as you bring those shoulders forward and up. Exhaling as you draw them back and down. 2 more. Last one. Good. Let's come to the top of our mat now. We're going to do the side bends that we normally do, but we're going to be facing the top of our mat. Inhaling both arms up and overhead. Take your right hand, grab your left wrist. Exhale as you bend over to the left. Take a full breath here. Inhaling into the side body, the right side body that's getting the stretch. And then lift up through center. Opposite wrist is held by the opposite hand. Pull up out of that arm and then over to the side bend. I'll face you guys for a sec. Take a full breath here. Good. Inhale, come up through center, release those hands. Exhale, bend into both of those elbows, baby back bend, opening up the chest. Inhale those hands up, grab onto that left wrist, pull that arm up, exhale over to the left. Good. Inhale up through center, switch the grip. Exhale over to the right. Inhale through center, release that wrist. Exhale, elbows out wide. Inhale those hands up towards the sky. Exhale, let's roll it on down, starting with the head, then the neck, then the chest, mid-back, low back, hands coming down towards the ground. Inhale, roll it on up. Stacking one vertebrae at a time, trying to keep those hips static in space, not sending them forward or back. Arms come up overhead. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, roll it back down. And when you're here, just let yourself hang. Grab opposite elbows with opposite arms. Opposite hands, rather. Shake your head yes, and shake your head no. Release your hands down towards the ground. Now, if anyone's having an issue with their hands touching the ground, no problem. You might want to grab onto yoga blocks or some books to help you with some extension into the next couple of moves that we're going to be doing. So let's just start inhaling as we bend into those knees, sending your chest towards those knees so bum comes towards the ground. Exhale, extend your legs long again, bending a little bit deeper into that forward fold. Inhale, bending into those knees. Exhale, straighten those legs. So we're still in that forward fold. 2 more like this. We're getting a nice stretch in the backs of those legs, perhaps releasing pressure in the low back as well. Last one here. Straighten both those legs. Using either the yoga block, your hands coming down towards the ground, whichever one is available to you. Step back with your left leg far enough that you're in a forward lunge. Okay? Plant your left hand either down on the ground, on the inside of that front foot, or up onto a yoga block. Lift your right hand up towards the sky and twist through the torso, looking up towards that hand. And breathe here. 2 more full breaths. Shoulders away from the ears. On your next inhale, send that hand back down to frame that front foot. Drop your left knee down, untuck your toes, and lift up through the chest, sending your hips forward, getting a nice stretch in that hip flexor of the leg that's extended behind you. If you want, you can bring your hands up to the knee that is bent in front. That's going to intensify the stretch because of the way in which the body is lifting as your hip comes forward. Make sure those hips are square. Stay here, or if you want to deepen the stretch, take that outside arm, inhale up and overhead. That's going to lengthen on the same side as the hip flexor that we are stretching. On your next inhale, come out of that extended stretch if you were there. Plant both your hands now down on the mat, framing that front foot. Curl those back toes under, lift up through that back leg so we're back in that runner's lunge. You're going to straighten that front leg as you bend into the back knee. Okay, walk your hands back a little bit and then lift up the front toes. Ooh, hamstring stretch in that front leg. Try to have a nice extended spine, not rounding too much into it here. And breathe. You can always keep those front toes down if that's too deep of a stretch for that front leg. One more breath here. Go ahead and plant those front toes down so the whole front foot is down now. Bring your back leg is extended long. You're bending into that front knee. Hands are down on the ground. Step forward with that back leg, and then just go ahead and step back with that front leg. So now we're just changing our feet. Plant your right hand down either on the mat or on a book or yoga block. Lift up through your left hand and look up towards the ceiling, towards that left shoulder. Yeah. Back leg is extended long. We're up on the toes of that back foot. Front foot is planted completely on the ground. A little bit of a stability challenge here too, right? And breathe. Two more breaths. Go ahead on your next inhale, out of that twist, bring that hand back down. Drop your back knee, uncurl your toes, and sink your hips forward so you get a stretch in that front hip flexor. If it's available to you, maybe bring your hands up to that front knee, lifting up through the chest. If not, stay where you are, no problem. One side might feel different than the other, totally normal. If you want to take it just a step further, inhale that outside arm up and overhead into a little bit of a side bend, creating a little bit more space and length on that side that is being stretched. On your next inhale, if you took that side bend, come on out of it. Let's go ahead, plant our hands down on either side of that front foot. Curl those back toes under, lift up to that back leg so we're back into our runner's lunge. Straighten that front leg as you bend into the knee of the back leg, walking your hands back, and then either staying here or lifting up the toes of that front foot to get a nice stretch in that hamstring in the front leg. And breathe. Remember to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. 2 more breaths here. If you're using those yoga blocks, you can use them to prop up onto them with your hands. On your next inhale, plant those front toes down so your whole foot is down. Hinge forward so we bend into that front knee, extend that back knee long. Step forward with that back foot and come back into our forward fold. Inhale and exhale here, noticing if you feel like you have a little bit more length with your hands coming down towards the ground. Plant your palms down. Feel free to bend into your knees if you need to. Plant your palms down on the ground. Step back with one foot and then back with another. Push back through those hands and come into our downward facing dog. Pressing into all 10 fingers, really thinking about extending that spine long. Go ahead and start to just pedal out the feet a little bit. Winding those elbows underneath the armpits. Go ahead, inhale as you lift up onto both toes. Exhale, dropping both heels down towards the mat. Take another full breath here. And on your inhale, hinge forward, coming into our plank position slowly and with control. On your exhale, try to slowly lower all the way down to the ground, to the mat, with control. Now leaving your hands underneath the shoulders, elbows drawn tight into the back body. We are now completely laying flat on the mat. Okay, head is facing down. Exhale any air that you had out. On your inhale, start to lift up from the head, neck, and shoulders, just slightly coming into a baby cobra. Elbows glued to the side body, legs long behind you. Exhale, lower down with control. Little back extension here. Inhale, lift. Looking just in front of the hands. Exhale, lower down. 2 more. Inhaling as we lift. You still need to press into those hands to help your upper body lift off the ground. Exhaling, lower down. Last one. And lower all the way down. Good. Adjust yourself so your forehead is directly on your mat. Take your hands and place them behind your back, interlocking your fingers together. Okay, so they should land like the back of your palms, the back of your hands should be about mid to low back, all right? Bring your right ear to the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, let your elbows head towards the ground with your hands and your fingers interlocked together. And just breathe. Take a few breaths here. It may seem like this isn't a big stretch, but it actually is really opening up the shoulders. One more inhale. One more exhale. Good. On your next inhale, lift up through the chest like you were doing a cobra. Send your arms long behind you and think as though I'm pulling your hands away from the body. Exhale as you lower with control, bringing your left ear to the mat, bending back into those elbows, and then letting them come down towards the ground. You may find that you have greater range of flexibility on one side than the other. It's totally normal. Few breaths here. Relax in the lower body, relax in the upper body. One more time each side. On your next inhale, lift up, pull back with those hands. Exhale, right ear comes down towards the mat. Let's go straight into the next one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left ear comes down to the mat. Good. Gently release your fingers away from one another and just extend your arms long by their sides. And notice if you feel any additional space or length in the shoulders at this moment. Draw your hands up now, back underneath the armpits, the shoulders. Inhale as you start to push yourself up into a full extension, and then exhale as you push back to a child's pose. Take a few breaths here. On your next inhale, walk your fingertips over to the right. Few breaths in this position. And then go ahead and walk your fingers over to the left. Find yourself with your hands straight out in front of you. Inhale, come up to your quadruped position. Adjust your hands and your feet so that your wrists are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. Go ahead, lift up. Go. Let's start with cat-cow, actually. I was going to do a twist. Let's start with cat-cow. Inhale as you bring that tail and that chest up towards the sky, really pulling through the chest. Exhale as you come through neutral, and then begin to round through the spine by tucking that tail and then pushing through the shoulders. Inhale through neutral into extension. Exhale back through neutral and into a rounded spinal position. Keep going. Mobilizing all parts of the spine, creating space through the vertebrae and the discs. We'll find neutral in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're all in our neutral spine. Go ahead, inhale, lift your right hand up off the ground. Exhale as you weave it underneath the left shoulder and armpit, bringing your right ear down to the ground. Taking a few breaths here. Good. On your next inhale, come on up out of that twist, plant that hand down. Exhale as you lift your left hand up and weave it underneath the right. 3 full breaths here. On your next inhale, come on up back into our quadruped position. Sit back on those heels and then swing your legs around so that they're facing in front of you. Good. So in a nice tall position, you should be feeling pretty loose right now. Go ahead, bend into that right knee. Lift that foot up and over your extended left leg and hug that knee into your chest, getting a glute stretch, which I feel like I've needed all day because I've been sitting in a chair. And breathe. Making sure to keep a nice tall spine in this position. If you'd like to take an additional spine twist here, hold on to that knee, that right knee with your left arm. Take your right arm, inhale as you bring it up and around, planting those fingers behind you, looking out over the right shoulder. Continue holding that right knee into your chest. On your next inhale, lift up through that right hand and bring it forward if you took that twist. Let's go ahead, extend that right leg long, bend into your left knee, and then lift up that left leg over the right, hugging your left knee into your chest. Again, staying nice and tall. Both sit bones are on the mat. It's not like we're lifting a hip up. If you took that twist on the one side, let's go ahead and do it now. Left hand lifts up and around on our inhale, planting those fingers behind us, still hugging that knee into your chest, looking out over that left shoulder. If you're in that twist, let's go ahead and lift up out of it back to forward position. Uncross those legs. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees go wide so we're into a butterfly position. Lift up nice and tall through the spine. Feel free to grab onto the feet, the ankles, the shins, whatever is available to you. Inhale here. Exhale as you hinge forward with a straight back. And then go ahead and round it out. Getting a nice inner thigh stretch. Make sure your shoulders aren't creeping up too close to your ears. Relax them down. On your next inhale, come on back to a nice tall spine. Keep one leg crossed in front of the body and send the opposite toes behind you. Let's finish with our mermaid. So grab onto that shin, other arm goes long. Both sit bones are trying to be on the mat, right? We're going to inhale as we lift up and overhead, trying to flex in that rib cage. Good. Exhale, stack them back up. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, return. Let's add a little twist. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, rotate through that rib cage. Look down towards that mat. Inhale, come out of rotation. Exhale, come out of that bend. Send that arm behind you. Okay, let go of the shin. Inhale as we sweep that front arm up and around, lifting up through those hips. Exhale, sit them back down with control. Good, last one. Inhale, sweep and lift. Exhale, lower. Cross the back foot in front now, opposite toes behind. Hold on to that shin, other arm comes long. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, release. Again, inhale up and over. Exhale, release. Let's add that twist. Inhale up and over. Exhale, rotate in the rib cage, looking down towards that shin or mat. Inhale, come out of rotation. Exhale, come out of that bend. Plant those fingers behind you, release the shin. Inhale as you sweep that arm up and around, lifting those hips towards the sky. Exhale, lower with control. Last one. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. Let's bring both feet forward now, cross them. Swing yourself forward, plant your fingertips down. Straighten those legs, final forward fold here. Uncross your feet. Exhale all your air out. On your inhale, slowly start to roll all the way up. Stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Head coming up last. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. I hope you feel really good and refreshed.